Welcome to the Holistic Health Bites podcast. I'm your host, Andrea Nicholson, here with bite-sized episodes to empower, educate, and enlighten you with ways to lose weight, heal your gut, and achieve your ideal health so you can live an adventure-filled life. Let's dive in. Welcome back to the Holistic Health Bites podcast. Today, we are talking all about how to maintain results. This is a big topic that is often left out of diet and health conversations. Everyone seems to be seeking quick results, to feel better, to look better, whatever that is, as quickly as possible. But even if that works, I'll say in air quotes, the results don't really last when you go this route, because that maintenance piece isn't really being talked about. So today, we're talking about it. So first of all, we have to let go of those quick results. Whatever the health challenge is that you're going through, be it weight gain, digestive issues, chronic headaches, back pain, bloating, fatigue, or any other challenge, getting quick results will really not solve your problem in most cases. There's generally a true, deeper cause that has led you to this place. So let's take an example. If your number one complaint is that you're just too tired to do the things that you want to do, this means that you'll end up missing workouts, you don't cook your meals, you don't even really pick up after yourself. All of this is making you feel less than, or defeated, or depressed. But what's really behind you being tired? What's contributing to that fatigue? Is it poor dietary choices? Is it that you're not prioritizing your sleep routine and habits? Is it that you're consuming alcohol or other products that are decreasing your overall energy levels? Or maybe that you're consuming far too many stimulants that are wearing out your detox systems. Maybe you have a hidden infection that's zapping your energy. Or maybe you have a cellular imbalance inhibiting your ability to produce and use energy efficiently. You see, we have to figure out that root cause. Then we can get to the solution as quickly as possible. None of these true root causes are things that can be corrected with a cleanse or a short-term diet or some miracle pill. This type of real healing takes time. It can be done with ease, but it doesn't happen overnight. So getting to the solution doesn't necessarily guarantee that you'll have fast results, but we have a specific target to aim for. So we have to stop looking for quick fixes and expecting overnight results. Anything worth having is worth working for. Second, we have to implement simple, doable, and maintainable actions. If we try to change everything in our lives all at once, we'll easily get overwhelmed and we'll likely give up really quickly. If we try to micromanage one specific thing and expect it to fix everything, we'll likely feel like it's not really working and we'll give up. And if we try to force ourselves into taking an action that we really don't like or don't agree with, we'll never stick with it. It truly doesn't matter how well formulated and healthy a particular plan is. If you hate it, you'll never stick with it. So even if you do get some results when doing all the things, or micromanaging one thing, or from forcing yourself to do something you don't want to do, those results won't last. And you'll be far less likely to take actions like these again. Eventually, you'll run out of fast action plans to try, or you'll keep circling back to those same failed plans. So what do we do instead to get lasting results? Well, I believe there are three things we need to do. Number one, we have to figure out that root cause to the biological issue and remedy that. Number two, we have to implement simple, doable, maintainable actions that move you toward your desired outcome. And number three is the most powerful. We have to fix the thoughts about the process. This is why I spend 6 months with my clients, because this is the real work. Now, you may be thinking this sounds really woo-woo, but stick with me. Let me share an example of this work that I just went through with a client. This client has a long history of dieting. She'll lose a little bit of weight with some very expensive commercial restrictive diet. You know, the ones like you buy their diet junk food. But eventually she gets fed up with this food and the expensive cost. She ends up quitting the plan and immediately goes back to her old ways, eating fast food, junk food, and completely falls off the plan. Or she struggles to stick with healthier options for even a couple of days. She has all of the intentions to prepare her meals and take them to work, and well, sometimes she does. But often, she doesn't actually eat the food that she brought and grabs takeout instead. Or she disregards the fact that she has great healthy food at home and hits the drive-thru on the way home. I asked her what her prevailing thought was about this cycle of struggle. And she said, I always fail. I try to be good, but I end up slipping up and failing. So I want you to let that sink in for a minute. How successful do you think you could be if you were operating from a thought pattern that you are a failure? If you told yourself every single day that you're a failure and no matter what, you will always fail, how well do you think you could stick with a plan of eating quality foods for your body? Probably not very well. But we didn't stop here. I asked her how it made her feel when she felt like she always failed. She said sad. And understandably so. So then I asked her, when you feel sad, what do you do? What does that make you want to do? She said she eats. And she eats without regard to her healthy plan. She just hides from the emotions by eating. She seeks temporary pleasure from eating tasty foods. Even though, when pressed, she actually said she doesn't really get any pleasure from it. She thinks that she'll get the pleasure from eating these junk foods. But she turns to junk food because she expects temporary pleasure. And what result do you think she's getting when she's eating without regard to her plan or her goals? Yeah, she's gaining weight. She's struggling to lose the weight. She's constantly struggling to stick with the plan. And she's always starting over. So literally, she thinks she's a failure, which results in her feeling sad, which makes her fail to follow her plan or stick to her goals. It's the thought that's causing this struggle. But then I wanted to take it one step further, and I asked her what she would rather be thinking than thinking she's a failure. She said, I would rather be thinking that I'm going to be successful, that I'm going to be healthy. What great thoughts those are. Doesn't that sound like a much better place to make choices from? To be able to focus on those thoughts every day. But let's keep going. So I asked her, how does this new thought make you feel? She said, motivated. Now, temporarily, she slipped back into the old thought pattern and said, I feel really motivated, but I always let myself fail. I had to stop her from thinking that thought and redirect her energy back to, I'm going to be successful. I'm going to be healthy. When she focused on that thought, she was able to see herself sticking to her plan, creating new habits, finding other ways to deal with negative or positive emotions instead of eating. And all of these actions will lead to positive, amazing, healthy results. You see, we all have these unhelpful thoughts that hold us back. But if we do the work to identify them, we can do the work to reframe them. They feel like facts. When you say to yourself, I am fat, or I'm tired, or I'm unhealthy, or any other negative statement, it seems like you're just reporting the news. But none of these are facts. None of these are indisputable details that 100% of people everywhere would agree with. These statements are just perspectives. They're thoughts in your head. They're simply sentences that your brain has offered you as part of the story you tell yourself. But you can change those sentences. It takes work. It takes practice. These sentences in your brain are just there trying to keep you safe, comfortable, and in the status quo. It's a survival mechanism built into your primal animal brain. But what makes us human is we have a prefrontal cortex where we can plan ahead and follow the plan. Now, most of us aren't really in the habit of asking our prefrontal cortex or even listening to it. There's a deeper reason why we're ignoring our more advanced brain. We just have to dig that sneaky thought out. This is the value of coaching. This is why we spend 6 months doing this work. Because we all have novels of negative sentences and stories that we're telling ourselves that are keeping us from living the life we want to live, from having the body we want to have, from having the health outcomes we want to have, from having the habits and confidence in ourselves. So, sure, we're going to dig in and find the biological cause of whatever symptom or condition you're dealing with. But then we're going to dig in and find those sentences that we can rewrite. This is the most powerful work you can do. This is what will get you the results and help you keep those results. Once you build these skills, you will know how to tackle anything in your life. I hope this information was helpful. If you know someone who could benefit from this information, please share this episode with them. As always, I would love it if you'd leave a 5-star review so that other people can find this podcast. That's literally what turns the algorithm on to sharing the podcast with other people. So thank you so much for listening. In the meantime, until the next episode, be well and vibrant. Thanks for being a faithful listener to the podcast. I'd love it if you left me a 5-star review on this podcast so that others can more easily find this valuable information. Did you know I also work one-on-one with clients? I approach solving health challenges like I approached solving crimes, by conducting a thorough investigation into your case. Sadly, hundreds of millions of people in the US have insulin resistance, prediabetes, and diabetes, and the vast majority have no idea. I'm here to fix that. If you struggle with low energy, stubborn weight, hypertension, sleep disturbances, or any other undesired symptoms, let's talk. All you have to do is schedule a free call. The link will be in the show notes. And no, you do not need to live near me.